Hello, good students of modern European history. All right, so I had you read the very, very long 19th century chapter, okay? And you should be finished with that. Hopefully you are. I gave you a little bit of extra time because I know some of you hadn't gotten the book yet. But if you don't have the book at this point, there's a problem. Okay, you must be reading this book and have this book by now. Okay, and so we're moving forward. I posted some videos. You probably saw them. You by this point, you've watched the videos on the French Revolution. You've watched the video on Napoleon, which I thought they were both very good, and you now should watch this 19th century videos that I gave you, John Green ones. 19th century is a very, very complicated time in European history, extremely complicated. So, you see the French Revolution stuff, that's also complicated. But when you go through the 19th century, what I want you to do is I want you to get the gist of what's going on. There's revolutions, that you saw that in Napoleonic era, there was the kind of like a breaking up of these empires. As Napoleon was marching through, he was making a huge French empire, kind of a big French federation, of countries. But he was breaking it up, and he gave people the idea. Like, people were like, wait a minute, like there's these like freedom ideas. We don't have to be part of Russia, or we don't have to be part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. And there's the idea of self-determination. And what you end up getting, well, World War I, where these empires do break, right? They break. And that's the next chapter you're going to read. So you're going to read chapter 6, okay? The Great War and a Magic Year, 1914 to 1939. Right above it, there's also the special insert on peoples of Eastern Europe, the Muslims. Definitely read it. Read it. You need to know about them. I know one student wants to do her paper on the Ottoman Empire. Well, they're Muslims, and they're in Europe, and they would be the main ones. So make sure you read that part, okay? And so here we are. We're going to read this next chapter, The Great War, okay? Along with this chapter, I'm also going to post some more videos. There's one on trench warfare in World War I, but I've been looking for some more this week. Just, there's some good ones out there. I've been looking for others just to see if I can find some that are better for you, and maybe you'll like more. And so I'll post those today, okay? And so watch those as well. I'll give you till mid next week to finish this Wednesday, okay? So please, watch these videos, read this chapter. I mean, this chapter here is, it's about 50 pages. So, I mean, as you know, by reading, this book is very easy to read. It's simple. It's one of the easiest history books I think you'll ever read. One of the the best written history books that you might read as well. And finally, what I want to say is that you need to be thinking about what you want to write your first paper on. Your first paper is going to be a 5-page minimum paper on this book, content in this book, not the book itself, content. One student asked me, hey, can I write the paper on the Ottoman Empire? Well, yes, you can. The answer is yes. However, you can't just write it on the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire spanned for millennium. I mean, the Ottoman Empire is like back from way back. They got in Vienna in the 1500s there. So you can't just write about that enormous history. I mean, it's one of the largest empires of all time. So there's people that they're ruling, all kinds of stuff that's going on. But I did say to the student that, hey, you can write about the Ottomans in in the Balkans. So the Balkans, the Balkan Peninsula. There, if you looked at the map, which there is a map game, and I highly suggest that you do it so you know where these places are. In the Balkans there, the Ottomans were there for hundreds of years. And so they've left a lasting impression, and that's where you have the most Muslims in Europe. In Bosnia, you might have heard of Kosovo and Albania. And so, and even in these other countries too. I mean, there are Muslims in Macedonia, of course, and so in Croatia and Serbia. So what you want to do is, you want to look at more specific topics when you're trying to figure out what you want to write about. I'm looking just here at some of the topics that they have in this book that Jankowski has, and you see pan-Germanism. That might be an interesting topic. Pan-Slavism is an interesting topic. There's even a chapter called The Austrian Dilemma in Hungary. That too could be interesting. Russia, the Hope and Prison of Nations. What is that? So you could write about something very specific. The more specific you get, which will teach me something, because you got to remember who you're writing to. You're writing to me, your instructor, right? I'm the one reading it. Yeah, I mean, if it's a good paper, then it's your colleagues and stuff, your peers, shall I say, will read it. But at this point, I'm reading it, definitely. So you want to write something that's going to interest me. If you're just writing like a history of Russia, that's way too broad, and I'm gonna well, of course I know all this information. Why do I care? Great, way to go. You can write a report on the history of Russia. But you can't do that. This is a 4,000 level class. And so you can't write these freshmen in high school papers. No, you're going to have to write something a lot more serious. And so I'm going to let you, like I said, I want you to start sending me emails saying, hey, I want to write about this. And then I will guide you in the right direction. Okay. So just picking one small topic, the battle in Kosovo, or, you could do like Yugoslavian Civil War, or, you could do, we're going to write a paper on Chernobyl, so you don't want to do Chernobyl, but you could do a nuclear reactor explosion somewhere else, right? In Europe, or a meltdown, or a release of chemicals, or, it's, there's plenty of topics that you can do, because we're starting, and it's got to be between the range of, basically the French Revolution to present day, right? If you wanted to write on Brexit, that would be a topic. I don't think Brexit's in here, but that could be a topic. It really needs to be in this book, in the chapters that I give you. So just think about what you want to write as you're reading. Like if something catches your eye and you're like, oh wow, this story, this chapter about Ukraine, it's very interesting to me, or this Free Baltic chapter is very interesting. The Baltic states got their freedom after World War I. How did that happen? That would be interesting to me, or at least how did the Estonians get their freedom? Do I know something? Sure, I do. But do I know everything? No, I don't. However, would I like to learn? Yes, please teach me something. Okay, surprise me. Come up with something. I think he won't know anything about this, and then boom, I'll be impressed. Of course, you're gonna have to have some sources. You can use this book here, and I want 3 good outside sources. So I'm talking something from the library. JSTOR is a good place to do it. We have digital archives, so you can go and get articles from all these sources from the library. Good sources. I don't want encyclopedia type sources or something silly from some personal website of someone, or just a blog post, or someone else's like student silly paper that they don't have sources. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for, like, coming from an actual journal, the Journal of Eastern European History or something of this nature. You need 3 good ones. Now, if you want to use some other sources, fine. But definitely 3 really good ones for this. We use, for our papers, we use Chicago manual style in history. But I do realize there's a whole bunch of people in this class that aren't history majors, which I'm like, yeah, that's cool. And so you guys who aren't history majors can use MLA, which is the English style, which you probably learned in your English classes and so forth and so on. So please, you use MLA or use Chicago manual style. For me, Chicago manual style is super easy. It's footnotes and whatnot. But if you want MLA, hey, that's your choice, and you can do that. Okay, so minimum 5 pages. I want you to definitely have 5 pages. And more is better. Remember, bare minimum work will get a bare minimum grade. Okay, unless you really, really wrote something amazing. This paper, I have set a due date for March 12th in the morning. Okay, so you have in the morning of March 12th, 11 a.m. to get this paper to me. I have to have them graded so I can get your midterm grades in. Also, you will have a midterm exam as well during midterm week. Okay, this will be an online exam, so you can you'll have. I'm pretty sure I'm going to do multiple choice questions, and you'll use Respondus Lockdown browser, and you'll just answer some questions. It won't be a super long exam, okay, but it will be information from this book, okay? From the chapters that we've gone over in this book, for sure, okay? So if you haven't read this book, you're going to have major problems, okay? So make sure you read the book. I'll give you this short exam with Respondus Lockdown browser. Not sure if you've used it before, but it's basically your computer must be able to have it must have a webcam, and it must be able to use Respondus, the program. Google computers do not use this. They don't work. It just doesn't work. I don't know. I have a Google computer right here. I'm not using Respondus. I just look at the videos of you taking the exams and so forth and so on. But if you can't use it, if you have a Google computer, that's fine. You just need to find a testing center. If Savannah State has a testing center, you can take it there. Okay, you just need to tell me that you need to take it there, or you can borrow a computer, which I've got probably 100 people I could borrow a computer from for a 1-hour exam. And if not, then if you live, let's say in Atlanta or somewhere far away, you can use a testing center near you, but you need to set up an appointment at that testing center. Georgia State has a testing center. You can go there and you can use their computers. Okay. However, you need to let me know if you're going to do that. When you're taking the exam with Respondus, you really must allow me to see your face. Okay. You see this backlight behind me? Now watch if I do this. Okay. All right. Now it's almost impossible to see where my eyes are doing right now. Okay. If you're taking the test like this, and I'm not going to accept it. Okay. It's not going to work. You can look at a phone. If you had a phone, you don't know where my eyes are right now, and I won't know where yours are. And that makes the test not legitimate. Okay. So you're going to have to make sure that, yeah, I can see your eyes. Okay. And and when you take the exam, that you're not looking anywhere else except for at the screen. That's where you should be looking, 100%. If you're looking at something else, I'll either fail you or make you take an extremely hard exam, because I just don't tolerate that kind of stuff. With this class and all my classes, 2 ways to fail would be to cheat on an exam, or easiest ways, or to plagiarize a paper. Like if your papers have just copied and paste from the internet, which just happens. I'm telling you, students do it. I don't care if I scream and yell in this video right now in my classrooms, if I write huge long emails, it doesn't matter. Somebody is going to think that they can just copy and paste from the internet and give me that paper. No, you're going to fail. Like, you just fail. Okay. It can get bad. All right. So some students don't like failing when they plagiarize, but hey, you know what? Then they go to the administration. Then the administration knows that they plagiarized. And then there's academic suspension, so forth. There's all kinds of stuff that can happen. So don't do that. Don't plagiarize. Okay. And when you're taking these exams using Respondus, don't cheat. Don't try something sneaky. I get this move all the time. Like last semester, I got this move. Like, here's my ID. Yes, Respondus will see your face and everything, and then this, and then this. Like just doing the exam. What? Nothing's happening. The screen's not moving. No. No. What? Yeah. No. I'm just looking. I'm doing my work. Yeah. Okay. I'm just doing my work. Yep. Okay. There we have it. Yeah. Now I'm taking the exam, and the computer sees that I have a head there, kind of, but Dr. Adams can't see my eyes, and so I can cheat. No, Dr. Adams is no fool, and he will look at the videos, and he will say, like, what do you think? Fail? No way. Or like this move here. Like, I have a student like this. Like, hey, okay, here's my ID. Here's my face. Computer's like, okay, you can start the exam. And then, what happened? Oh, no. I'm taking the exam. Oh, no. And then at the very end of the exam, no, don't do that. It happened. Like, one student thought I could do it. You can't do it. He apologized. Hey, I'm like, okay. I couldn't accept it. He said, hey, I'm sorry, man. I feel so bad I cheated. Thanks, man. Now I appreciate that. Like, hardly ever does a student say, hey, I cheated and apologize, and I did appreciate that. And I hope I, have him again. But yeah, you can't do this stuff. I'm just not, I'm not the person you want to mess with this stuff. Because I do know how to use a computer. Pretty good. A lot better than a lot of these guys. Trust me. All right. So please just study, learn this stuff. It's pretty good. I think it's great information. I mean, this book I gave you is amazing. The videos that you've watched so far are great. The Chernobyl book's awesome. You've got some good stuff. You're going to learn all about modern European history. And when you get out of this class, people talk about Europe. You're going, oh yeah, I know this. Now you need, and I'm going to say it again, you need to take that map test, okay? Take the map test. Take it. You take the map test, and you will you'll see that you kind of like understand what the book's talking about, where, and that's kind of like a big deal, like if you're reading about Serbia and you have no idea where Serbia is, like Serbia and Kosovo and the Ottoman Empire, if you have no idea where these Turkey or where the Ottomans remnants are, right? If you don't know where any of these people are or where these countries are, you're just kind of like just reading about another planet. I mean, get out of here. You can't do that. If you can't visualize in your head where this text is going, as far as and Serbia and Romania and Albania and Russia, come on, like it's got to be hard. I can't even imagine doing that. So take that map test that I posted and look at it. Like really, like try to be able to put all the countries of Europe in there in less than 2 minutes. You can do it. It'll take you probably 5 times. I get my students to do it all the time, okay, in class. So, and if you can do it, then show me that you've done it on like a video, and then send it to me, and I'll give you some extra credit. Okay. So I think I've covered everything. You know, next Wednesday, remember, okay, you should have read this next chapter, chapter 6 in the Eastern European book, and then watch these videos that I posted on World War I as well. Okay. Well, at the 19th century one, and then the World War I videos. And then we'll go from there. From there, we'll move right on to the interwar period and then the World War II. And then also I want you to think about, after reading this chapter, and if you want, you can keep going in the book, because we're going to continue reading it. You can tell me what you would like to write your paper on, which is due, remember, 11 a.m. Okay, that's in the morning on March 12th, which is the last day of midterms. And then also between March 6th and March 12th as well, you will have that window. I'll do it like the 7th and 8th or something like that. You'll have a window to be able to take the midterm exam. Okay. Well, that's it for me today, I guess. I'll post those World War II videos here soon. I've got some Pokemon Go to play. You know, I mean, got to go catch those Pokemons, I guess. All right. Talk to you later.